So I'm up in my shed today doing a little bit of a clear up because I've got crap everywhere. We'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to do a full tidy up and I'm going to move a lot of my workshop up to the back here and leave storage over here. But I said that while I'm doing that, I'd introduce you to one of my old projects. Some of my old subscribers from like 5 years ago will remember this car. But what we'll do is we'll pull it out of this fancy bubble and we will see how she looks. It's in this bubble because basically cars in this country rust really quickly, so I just put it in this bubble to keep it dry. Yeah, so let's pull it out and have a look and we'll have a chat about it. Have it. This thing was a really good investment because I actually haven't had this car out of here for about a year, and I washed it a year ago, and it's like the day I put it in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get her started. I'll bring her out into the middle of the floor, and we'll have a quick walk around. We'll talk about the work that's been done, and yeah, we'll just go over how the project went and that. So here it is, my 1990 Mazda MX5. Now I know a lot of you who watch the channel normally are into the boats, but I just wanted to go over this project because this project gave me a huge amount of the skills that I have now, especially around welding, and to be honest, planning a project and giving me the patience as well to see a project through, because this took me 6 years of kind of part-time work and changing things and chopping things around, and it took me about 6-7 years to get this car to where it is. I enjoyed every minute of it, but it was a real slog. So as I was saying, a 1990 MX5, original colour, not the original paint. So the paintwork was done about 2 years ago and hasn't been driven since, so this actually is as fresh as it comes. We'll have a look at the engine. So it's a 1.6, normal 1.6 with a GT2871 turbo and a few minor upgrades. We'll go through that now. So as I was saying, it's a 1.6 standard block. I do have a forge kit to go into it, but I just haven't had the time to put it in. It's a 2871 turbo. There's an intercooler down behind the bumper, so you can kind of see it in there. If you look, it's a little bit of a intercooler there. It's got a set of ID 725 injectors and Yaris coil on plugs as well to give it that extra spark, a bit of extra power in the spark. I put everything in there myself. Everything in there is done by me. It's got a Mega Squad ECU with a turbo or a boost control solenoid here, so an electric boost control solenoid. BC Racing coilovers. What else has it got? There's quite a few small kind of custom things in there and stuff like that, but for the most part it's actually quite a simple conversion. The car put out 235 horsepower at the wheels, which is nothing crazy, but the car does only weigh about 950 kilos, so it's a pretty interesting car to drive. Ride height is a little bit high at the moment, so I raised the car up before I put her into the cover. But usually the car rides quite a bit lower. As I was saying, the car was painted. So we'll try and get a little bit more light on it. The car was painted about 2 years ago, and it hasn't been driven since. I had to replace the sills, so the sills were cut out because they rotted through. I cut the inner sills out as well, and I replaced all the metal. And things like that were to make the car as clean as I could. Moving on to the interior, we have a Nardi interior with the tan leather. So tan leather interior, all those little Nardi goodies on it as well. It's a really, really nice place to be. It's a really comfortable place to be when you're driving. Really unusual driving position. You're way low, and there's this big bonnet out in front of you. Well, when I say big, but it's bigger than the standard bonnet. The hardtop is bolted in. So the hardtop is actually bolted in with these brackets. So you might be able to see them. So instead of the hardtop being able to come off, it's actually bolted down. It actually adds a huge amount of rigidity into the car and stuff like that. I do have a soft top for the car somewhere, but it's not fitted at the moment. So I just keep the hardtop on. So it's a 3-inch turbo back exhaust. It's full 3-inch stainless all the way back to a back box. So there's no catalytic converter or anything like that. It doesn't need it by law. For pre-92, I think. So 1992 and earlier doesn't need a catalytic converter. So the car makes a really, really nice deep sound. It's not crazy loud. It does spit quite big flames. But yeah, to be honest, the car is a toy, but massive amount of fun. So the car actually doesn't have any insurance at the moment, so we can't take it for a drive. But I am hoping to get this car back on the road soon, so we might be able to go for a drive then. But makes, as I was saying, around 235 horsepower at the wheels. I detuned it a little bit, so probably a little bit less now. But she runs really, really well. And it's an incredible amount of fun to drive. If you do have any questions about the car or anything like that, do send me a comment or send me an email if you have any questions at all. I did build pretty much the vast majority of this car by myself, so I know it inside out, and I know these cars really well. So if you have any questions, shoot me a mail. Now, for fear of getting too much distraction from this, because I would love to just start working on this again and get it on the road, we'll get back to doing what we were doing, which is organising the shed and getting ready for the week ahead of boat building. But yeah, sorry if you're not interested in cars, but this is my baby, so I just wanted to show you. Right, so the keen eye amongst you will have noticed this box and what may be in it. Now, I bought this about a month ago. It's slightly incomplete, but what I have, I can make it work. And what we'll do is we'll lay it out. We'll see, can anyone guess what it is? So I'll do that now. So this is a self-steering wind vane. Now, I bought this knowing that there's a piece missing, and there's a big piece missing, right? This is actually designed to fit to an auxiliary rudder system. So there should be another setup like this next to it, obviously a lot bigger. Now, I bought this off a charity, and the charity asked me for a donation. So I gave the charity a donation, and I got this. It's brand new, never used because the piece was missing. But I can actually make this work as a servo pendulum system rather than an auxiliary rudder system. Now, one thing I do want to make a point of is I used patron money to buy this. So I've been saving up the patron money to buy something like this. And when this popped up, I could not say no. I bought this for a very, very, very small fraction of the new price. And it is brand new, completely unused. It was in its packaging, apart from that big piece that's missing. But as I was saying, I can make it work as a servo pendulum. Now, the way these work is very simple. You have a kind of a wind vane that you point into the wind, and then when you go off course, it flops over, right? Then there's a rod that when that flops over, it pushes or pulls a rod, which twists this rudder. So this rudder will twist left and right, or port and starboard. And then when it twists, it uses the force of the water moving over it to lift it, swing it, which swings this, which pulls a rope and activates the tiller. It's very hard to explain how it works as it's on the ground, but I'll try and find a link for the description, and it'll explain how it works a bit better. Incredibly simple, old technology, needs absolutely no electricity. And when they are set up right, they just keep working. So I'm very, very excited about this. Now, what I will have to do to make it work is make a bracket to fit to the boat, and then extend this arm straight up. So I might cut this off, or I might just make a bracket that fits on, that will activate or pull the ropes that steer the boat. We'll come back to this way down the line, probably in a year or so, and we'll talk about how this works and how it's going to fit to the boat. But I just wanted to show you guys before I put it into deep storage. We've emptied out the forward cabin now, run my conduit. I've kind of cleaned up any rust spots that I wasn't happy with. It wasn't really rust, it was more just collection of dirt that kind of had a bit of filings in it or something and went rusty. But yeah, that's ready for battens and then insulation. We're going to change this pipe as well. I'm hoping to do that beforehand, and if we don't, we're kind of screwed. But yeah, I'm hoping to change that now in the next day or two. I need to get some stainless steel to replace it with, and then yeah, so yeah, there we go. That's all I have time for this week. So thanks for watching as always. Make sure you check out the new blog as well. Niamh put up a blog. We'll go in here where it's less echoey. Niamh put up a new blog, so get that and go and check that out on the website. The link is in the description. And yeah, we will see you in the next episode. Bye.